Come on, let's go. There it is. All right. I just wanted to get that thing posted up before I started yapping. Once I start yapping, I don't want to stop yapping. I hate messing with spaces to post links. Melina, how are you doing today?
I am good. I've been feeling a little sluggish, but the weather here sucks, so I'm blaming it on the weather. But I'm good. I'm good. This pumps me up to talk about content and to answer people's questions. This is what, I feel like we were meant to do, Chris.
I swear. It's so true. It's one of the things that for the longest time I wanted people to come in and talk about content creation, and nobody would. And I don't think anybody knew what that meant. And that's the title of the space. Is Twitter Spaces content creation? I say no. I say no. Hot take, no. If I write down in my journal every morning, am I a writer or did I write something? That is not capturing my thoughts, recording it. I don't think that makes me a content creator. At least no more than me playing basketball at the park makes me a basketball player. Those are two different things. Do you get paid for it? Is that a thing? Do you care? Are you actually trying to go down that path? Is it a hobby? It's cool if it's a hobby. You could be a hobbyist content creator. But like, don't at me about you're a content creator, bro. You just talk to your phone on Twitter. Okay. That's my favorite.
That's it. We're done. The space is over. No, but look, here's what I will say. And I said it this morning. And honestly, I just want people to understand, right? When we say content creation, it's much more than just hosting a Twitter space, but also what I want every content creator out there to know is that if tomorrow Elon decides to, oh my God, I said his name, but if Mr. He who shall not be named on a Twitter space decides to just turn it all off, like boom, we're done with Twitter spaces, what is everyone's plan B? That's what I want people to answer me. Like, what is the plan, right? When we say, content creation as a business, or we're talking about making this or turning this into your full time,
right?
It's not you just relying on Twitter spaces.
Yeah. Elon could come in at any moment and say,
you are done. There will be no more content creation on Twitter. All right.
Let's go. Let's get some hands up. Who wants to talk about is Twitter Spaces content creation? I invite people to come up. You got my hot take.
And also, if you disagree, please let us know. Like, we're here to have an honest and open conversation. This is not like Chris and Melina can be wrong too. I mean,
yeah, I'm wrong about a lot of things a lot of times. So by all means, let me know if that's the case. Joey, you came up
gorillas.
How you doing, Joey? Oh, and you know what, too, we haven't done yet is check to make sure any of this shit's actually working.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Because I don't hear Joey.
Joey, are you saying things?
I'm sure he is. He likes to pump up the spaces.
Can we get thumbs up if Joey's saying things? Or Coach, you want to, is anybody saying anything?
Yo.
There we go.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Joey, you've got the floor. I just saw you on mute. Go for it, friend. I was just doing the mic check for him.
That's dope. That's such a good reason. This guy was like, listen.
I told you.
Don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up. Don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up.
Energy!
Yeah!
There we go. Oh, Joey's about to get a link to the StreamYard. Here we go.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Who wants to be on a live stream? By all means.
Come check out my living room if you care. Come check out my Gucci dress with my Gucci pendant. I'm really not wearing that, but just come check me out.
So I was actually all set up and ready to go, but for some reason I couldn't get the volume. I don't know. I couldn't hear anything, and I'm like, what's happening here? I was like, hold up there, Sonny. I didn't know what was happening. But I wanted to answer the first question about like if Twitter Spaces went away, like what would you do? Because I've had this conversation So like in other content creation spaces, people have always asked, like, should you be putting your content on, which I heard you say, you're like, oh, I'm not ready. Got to get it out on Kick and YouTube and Twitch. And right. Like, so people have always asked, like, should I be putting content out on every single possible platform I could find? Or should I focus on growing my audience on one and then, then expand or whatever? And my answer, so I got into content originally as a gamer. So I started on Twitch and streaming on Twitch, and I built up a following, and I got some small paychecks. I'm no like Nick Merckx or Tim the Tap Man, right? And I loved Twitch. It was a lot of fun. And, I was on camera and I had all kinds of cool shit for people to do. Like if they had, got a points, like they could literally pick any dance they wanted me to perform on stream.
That's like
while I was in the middle of playing like Warzone. Yeah, I'm like in the middle of playing Warzone in a heated battle. And if they bought like, you have to dance and said, do the Dougie, I had to stop and do the Dougie, right? I had a great time. I loved it. But for me, I guess I'm a little older. I'm 42. So like I have a lot going on in my life. So it's hard for me to push out content on different platforms with a full-time job, plus being in like Web3 and NFTs and family and all that stuff. So like, I guess for me, if Twitter Spaces went away, because that's my main form of content right now is Twitter and Twitter Spaces, I'd probably go back to Twitch. And then maybe like the newest, hottest thing I know right now is Facebook Shorts or something, or
Reels.
Facebook.
I feel like that's just
whatever.
Gary pushing that though. I don't know about Facebook. I'll be honest, guys. The people on
Gary Vee is
Facebook,
all over Facebook.
who's going on Facebook?
I mean, Gary Vee has been So
Yeah.
for example, right? So Gary Vee is obviously one of the best content creators out there. So years ago, I'm not on TikTok. I don't understand how it works. I guess I'm a boomer. Some
Nobody
might say.
does.
I don't get it.
Oh, I do.
Nobody
I'm
does.
good at it.
Yeah.
I'm damn good at it. Nice.
I'm not good at that stuff. Like the making like whatever. Anyways, but years and years ago when TikTok first came out and there really wasn't a lot of people on it, Gary was like, if you don't have a TikTok, you need to get one because this is the next big thing. So I downloaded it and I tried to figure it out and I'm like, yeah, I'm good. I don't have time for this. And recently in the last few months, he's switched gears
Yeah.
and said, if you're not on Facebook Reels, you need to get on Facebook Reels.
I talked to one of the
because
biggest guys
so-
in the social media industry the other day when we were at NFTLA, and he's like this guru that walks around that nobody actually knows because, of course, nobody in Web3 knows anything about social media. But my buddy Michael Stelzner, so he's the man. But he was like, listen, if you're not currently going hard on Facebook Reels, you need to be. And I can tell you this, when I left my Web 2 making content full time, all I was doing was making a bunch of reels and YouTube videos and all that stuff. I made, I think, $8,000 alone in January 2022 from Facebook Reels. So it was a big deal then. And I'm 39, right? So to put in context, I'm better at social media than the stupid kids. They're consumers. They're not necessarily inherently
They're not
good.
creators. Yeah, 100%.
They're not
Yeah.
creators yet.
Well,
So-
you just made me feel like an absolute.
Hey, I'm just calling it as I see it, bro.
Okay,
This
but
guy's
look,
like- this guy's
I'll
like,
tell you guys,
I'm
I put
39
out my content on
crushing it.
Facebook. Sorry, Joe.
Go
continue.
ahead, Maria.
No, you're good. You're good. I
I was going to say, I
don't
put
feel
my
bad.
content on Facebook Reels, and I don't really see it, guys. I'm sorry. I'm gonna say it the way I've been doing it for months before Gary, because and Chris knows this about me. If I'm doing it on one platform, I'm gonna copy paste it on every other platform. Prove me wrong, but that's where I'm at. I still think YouTube the place to be, but that could just be me. But again, I'll stress it. It's the whole crypto NFT content that sort of gets Zuckerberg, I think, putting me in a shadow ban.
Yeah.
But that could just be me.
So what I was gonna say, like what I was trying to finish up to say is about like where I would go with my content. Ultimately, defining your target audience is what you need to do to figure out where to put your content, right? So like for me, as somebody whose focused content is like Web3 and NFTs, if Twitter Spaces went away, I'd have to spend some time researching like where is where is my audience, right?
Okay, Joey, this
So
is the
that's where I
answer.
think-
Joey, we're gonna stop you here
Yeah,
because
we're
we
gonna
both
stop
said
you.
no. We were both like,
at all, bro.
it's actually not about your target. Our question here, when we're saying if Twitter shuts down tomorrow, where do we go? The answer is not Facebook. The answer is not YouTube. The answer is not Instagram. The answer is not Pinterest. The answer is not TikTok. The answer is build your platform.
That's it.
Build your website. Right, Chris? That's the
That's it.
answer.
Yeah, and Joey, listen, like I'm all about hot takes and all that stuff, especially here on Twitter, because that's what makes things fun, right? Like when people disagree and all that. I very much disagree. I've heard your take before on choose what platform to put your stuff. This is what I gotta say. I make dope content. When I make it for YouTube, it's just as good for TikTok. If I make it for a specific demographic, for an audience, my strongest was always dudes that were 25 to 34 years old, right? They were males in America, right? Guys that liked cars. That was my big thing. So it can there be stronger followings on, let's say, Facebook, where all the automotive Facebook groups are at? Yeah, sure. It could be stronger there than, let's say, TikTok. But what if there's a bit of people that are on Pinterest as well? My point is, if I make one piece of content and I can get mileage out of it on Pinterest and on Snapchat and all these different places, I could just tell you from firsthand experience, if you make good content and you serve that good content somewhere where people are at, then you're going to grow your community on that platform when you post to that platform. It doesn't mean that I need to put all my eggs in one basket, but I already made the damn content. I'm going to post it everywhere. But to Melina's point, the reality is I'm posting up content as a new avenue to lead you to Rome. All roads lead to Rome. I've made a lot of content specifically talking about that. Why would I not want to have a road from Pinterest directly to my website that has online courses, that has my email list, that has all the things? That's very Web 2 mentality, but I still think that shit works heavy in Web 3. And so I think you're just...
I agree with you. Well, no, I'm saying I'm answering it for me. Right. Not for everybody else. I agree with you 100%. Like a traditional, again, when you look at a traditional marketing funnel, right? And your goal is to funnel people into where you want them, which is ultimately to your website, right? So I agree with what you're saying 1000%. But for somebody like me, like that doesn't have the experience that you have, that doesn't have or Melina, or the skills that you and Melina have when it comes to creating content. Like my biggest skill is my ability to talk. I'm not good at all that other technical stuff. So I don't know what I would do when it came to putting out content.
Well,
and that's why I love Spaces, because I can just get up and talk.
And you know what, to the point, and we're going to go to Coach. When I heard Gary say the same thing that you heard him say, and I actually downloaded Musical.ly, and I was like, what is that? What am I doing? Is this even okay? I'm a grown-ass man. Should I be here? And then it turned into TikTok, and I felt a little bit better about it, yet still very confused. I didn't understand it. And then I joined this crazy thing called Clubhouse. And boy, did I learn a lot by just listening. I listened a lot. I listened to people that were absolutely crushing it. And I picked up all these little secrets and little tricks of the trade. And for the first 3 months I was on Clubhouse, it was like just an absolute fire hose, just a golden fire hose, just blasting. And everybody there was killing it in their respective fields, just dishing out all of the secrets and all that. And it was amazing. That's how I learned content creation with short form. And I learned it from people that were actually just asking. But listen, I will talk your face off. Joey, I have a feeling you just said you could talk. I could talk. Melina can talk. I want to hear Coach talk really quick, because he's also a content creator that I love when he talks. He says such great things and his content is amazing. What's up, Coach?
How we doing, fam? Like Chris, I'm not going to lie. Like, I was going to DM you and be like, hey, when's the next episode? Or when you guys come live again? Because I want to make sure I want to pull up, because like last week, whenever I pulled up, like it was a vibe, you know, connecting with Melina, and obviously I've got a rapport with you, Chris. Like that's the cool shit. And I was actually like, you mentioned StreamYard. I tagged them on a Twitter post, and they actually I got 30 days to try that. And I was about to click on your link, but I don't know if I want to bring my face and my mic and cam into you guys' good presence right now, right?
Oh, like, you should really quick. I want to let Joey know. Make sure you mute on Twitter so that I can pump your audio through your computer in here. Guys, Joey just joined with his handsome face and his bullshit excuses about why he's not good.
Exactly.
be on video making content all the time. So
I'm gonna do it. Let me mute real quick.
okay, cool. Coach, back to you. I'm sorry for being an ass. Go ahead.
That's okay. I'm gonna join and I'm gonna mute, and maybe my beautiful ass will pop up. So hold on a second.
So while they're popping up, let's just remind everyone we are currently streaming on how many platforms, Chris?
4, unless you add your own. Each guest that I invite up can have up to 2 destinations. So their YouTube, their Kick, their whatever. So I mean, we can just load the stage up. Here's the thing though, a lot of people don't want to do video on Twitter Spaces, which is why me and Melina are so pumped to do this stuff.
That's why we're doing it.
She's down to do this.
The number one reason why we're doing it is because no one else is. It's just that's how. When people used to ask me, "Why do you do the crypto news update?" Because no one else is doing it. Like that's it.
I know that guy.
Yo, what's going on, Joey?
What's up, Kenton?
Oh, okay, cool. Wow, I haven't done this before. You're right. This is weird to do with Twitter.
It is so weird. It's the
I'm
weirdest.
gonna layouts now. I'm gonna get fun. And here's the thing.
I love this. I think the next iteration of like Twitter Spaces is great, but I miss like to me like I miss this.
Yeah,
this
it's
is so
fun.
much cooler. Like getting to actually see people's
When
faces.
you said something and me and Melina shook our heads. No, you missed it. You missed it because you weren't in here, and you could have been like, "Fuck you guys, I'm right, you're wrong." That would have been way
my
better.
video's mirrored. Is my
Yeah,
video
you look
mirrored?
great, dude. And Kenton's up here looking great. Here's the thing. I tell people this all the time. What you guys don't realize is, regardless of if I change the screen around or I do all these weird things, right? Whatever it is that I'm changing on here is just showing this temporary little thing of just Melina, just us. Right? So we're all here doing our thing. But this is what's beautiful. You're being recorded in the background. You're being recorded in 1080p without a cute little name tag. I get to have, after this is done, your stream of your audio and your video loads up to the cloud. I download it. If you say something super funny, I could zoom in vertical, chop up some content of you giving your take and then somebody shaking their head or laughing or whatever. All those reactions, build it in. It's high quality. And then we get to post that. By the way, what I just described is making content.
We got Coach.
We got everyone here. And you know what? I'm gonna convince Jonah Blake one of these days to actually show up to these things, because I've been talking people's faces off forever about you already showing up in Twitter Spaces. You're already there. We just don't get to see any content evidence of it after. Jonah does a kick-ass job at that. I actually love his content. So for everybody else, my take: no, talking to your phone on Twitter is not content creation, but taking that, repurposing it, and posting that across the internet, including on Twitter, that's content creation. That's my take. I'm a bit of a dick about it.
I agree. I don't think Twitter Spaces is content creation. Twitter Spaces is like it's just like a town hall forum, right? Like you're not now, if you do that cool shit, which I don't know how to do, which I knew how to do, which is like clip a thing and then create like a fun graphic where like it like lights up the words.
Yep.
You know, like that is content creation, and that's great use of Twitter Spaces. But you know, if you're just getting up there to talk, you're not a content creator.
I mean, listen, I say all this stuff and I tease a lot and I poke people in the eye with it because I think a lot of people think that that's enough. And my resounding message is like, no, it's not enough. I love that you're doing it, but it'd be like if you're an amazing writer or an amazing poet and you're sitting there and you're writing and you think that you writing is enough. That's not enough. You need to publish it. It needs distribution. It needs to get around there. Otherwise, if you weren't there sitting in the room when that person wrote that beautiful poem, then you miss it. And that's dumb. Why would that be where anyone leaves it? Share your shit out there. Turn it into content. And then if you care to be called a content creator, then God bless. Go for it.
Coach, are you painting that wall behind you?
That's the goal. So check it out. I'll give a better view. So like we've got a full blown, we're taping it out. The goal is we're going to paint it with one of the colors over here, right? We're still deciding. And then we're going to paint it. And then I'm going to go ahead and put wood, like a 1x wood where these are at, and then paint over top of it. So it's going to be monochromatic, but it's going to have some depth to it. We've been in our house like 10 months, and it's just my office has been the last to be getting rolling. So we're working on kind of some design work back here. So great observation, though.
That's funny. The first thing we did when we moved into our house was my office.
Well, you got to understand, my wife is right now the breadwinner. I quit my job so we can move down here. So it's one of those that like
we're going to focus on getting you covered. I'm going to be dad and do all this stuff. And then like, so, and it's cool. Like I'm slowly piecing it together and again, popping in
It's
here.
awesome. You'll have your own space soon.
I love that, coach. Do you know how many times I joke with my fiance now? I'm like, so the goal, because he just proposed, and I was like, so are you okay with me being the breadwinner and you go take care of the that's exactly what I told him.
I want my kids to be the breadwinner. I'm like, dude, can you start making worlds in Fortnite and like sharing them and be like internet famous and then just like let me goof around on Twitter all day? That'd be better. I'd appreciate that.
I know, but I don't have kids. I don't even have pets. I only have this tree here that I hope it just survives.
It looks fake. Is it real?
No, it's real.
No, just kidding.
Coach has his hand up. Here's the rule. If anybody's on Twitter Spaces and they're on stage and they're in the live stream, this is all you have to do if you want to talk while we're all yapping. Just put your. I'm just kidding. You don't actually have to do it. You just cut us off. That's fine.
That's the hardest part. Like as I'm sitting and I'm like, and I don't know how you're managing this, and that's something I want to kind of talk about in the back end. But like, I want to come back around on like the content creation side of things, and I think that I think Twitter Spaces is a piece of it, right? Like it's a component, and I think that. Chris, I love your take on like if you're writing and you're not putting it out there, then what the hell are you doing? But it's also a fine line of like people's level of comfortability and like the confidence behind it, right? Like I just started my first ever Twitter Spaces yesterday, like on my own solo hosting, and honestly, like it was great. And I'm not shilling that, but like it was one of those. It took me the better part of like 3, 4, 5 months to sit and go, okay, I this is something I want to do. I want to try. And yeah, I'm natural at it, but like, it's just it's a level of comfortability. And then also being able, right now I'm trying to figure out, okay, great. Now what the hell do I do with it? And those are my next like kind of, and that's why I ask you guys, that's why I would pay attention to the video. That's why like, I've already downloaded the audio. I'm like, okay, how can I repurpose that? So that's why I say like, I think it's a piece of content creation. It's not the only way of content creation. And I love driving it back to a main source. And that's something that, again, I'm working on creating as well.
You're ahead of the game, dude. Most people spend a lot of time running those Twitter Spaces before they even think, hey, why am I even doing this? Like, and there's a lot of broke ass people that have a lot of followers on a lot of social media platforms, including Twitter. So my take is not that like, oh, content creators are better. I'm like, do you want to be a content? You know how many broke ass content creators are out there? Is that for you? Can't you just be somebody who talks on Twitter and you're actually like, I don't know, like a CEO of some big deal thing, or I don't know. There's so many other things. Like it's not like this role that everybody has to have. Otherwise you're not good. Like, but let's just be real. Like, are you actually creating content or are you talking to your phone in a group chat? Because that's okay. Just, maybe if you have any ambition to be a content creator, then you should create some content, not just leave it where it stands as this recorded space that exists on Twitter that literally nobody's going to go back to and listen after it's happened, unless, I don't know. Like I listen to shows specifically so I could timestamp them. I want more takes. I do
want to emphasize though, because, I am this person. I think it's super important, right? We just heard Coach saying he was like just listening for 6 months. That's what I did when I entered. I've been speaking for a decade and I didn't feel comfortable to do a Twitter space because it just didn't feel natural until I started doing them. And that's one thing that I keep saying. You just have to understand that it's not going to look good. It's not going to, you'll never get to that level that you want to get to unless you start, right? And I keep repeating it, but I just think it's so important to keep repeating that unless you start, you'll never get better. So that's one thing, right? If you're a writer and you're like, I don't want to start sharing my stuff, that's fine too. It's just that, and again, let's be real, the bear is only starting. And I will say we will continue seeing a lot of content creators not getting paid for the work that they're doing because we're in a bear. So, oh my God, Joey just brought in the kid and now like,
what's he talking about? This whole like, oh, I'm not going to make content, show the baby.
This is the moneymaker right there. That's it. Just
This
throw
is,
the kid.
This is little Joey. Say hi, little Joey.
Hi, little Joey.
What's up, dude?
I instantly like you better because I see the whites of your teeth. It's a psychological thing. I didn't even have a choice. Right. I'm human. You smiled. You popped on here. You got a cute little baby. Like I see the whites of the baby's eyes, the whites of your teeth. I am wired to like what I seeing here, and most people don't get that on Twitter Spaces.
So
I'll
maybe
buy
I should start a
anything from
podcast.
you.
Joey and little Joey's hot takes.
I love it.
I was gonna say, oh, you lost a sock, buddy. Okay, we'll take the other one off. I was gonna say
Well, I was
exactly
just
what
saying,
Melina
because
said.
I've never been on. This is my first night, my first evening. Sorry.
Oh, you're good. Go ahead, Joey, real quick.
I was gonna say the same. I was just
yeah,
gonna echo-
yeah, go on.
Oh wait, sorry. Go ahead, William. No, I'll wait. Go ahead, William.
Yeah, no, this is my first evening. I'm sort of like, obviously, I'm new to this completely. I live alone in the UK. I'm waiting on 2 operations. I've been waiting 3 years now. I've got a really interesting story, and I just literally, you know, I got offered to come into this space, and I'm sort of just trying to get my story out. But
William, are you in
I
Web3?
just-
Are you like part of the like crypto Twitter or anything like that, or you say the space? Is that what
no,
you mean? Like Bitcoin and all that?
I just had Christopher Green. Christopher Green sort of put me in with you guys and sort of said, like, you know, I'll put you in with some people that know what they're talking about and so forth and so on. But no, I'm all new to it all but I want to walk before I can run, if that makes sense.
Well, you're doing
And
well.
also-
You popped right up on stage and talking like that. That's the one thing that I could give you the most encouragement with. And then I'm gonna give you some like quick notes too ahead of time too, just because I'm the guy to say the awkward stuff.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
I would 100%, and this is for the whole room when it comes to content creation, when it comes to live streaming, anything, is think about this. Everybody's got a very short attention span, right? Everybody's focused on one thing for just a finite amount of time, and then they move to the next thing. And something I see happen a lot, especially on Twitter Spaces, is people will go for a long amount of time. And so what it forces you to do is get really concise about the things that you want to say, the message you want to deliver, the call to action. Like, what is it? What are you after? Are you trying to drive somebody to do something? Are you trying to, like, you know, hit a certain
I'm trying to
metric?
drive myself to do something. I'm trying to drive myself to do something. Because as I say, I live alone. You know, I live alone, and I'm doing a lot of manifestation stuff and meditation and so forth. And I bought these really 6-7 interesting books, and I've got a C1 fracture. I've got a titanium rod in my neck. I've got a hernia. I literally can't leave my home. I'm actually, you know, 24/7 at home because of obviously my physical condition, but my mind still works, and I'm sort of like trapped because I'm on benefits. And I know it sounds like a really sad story, but it's completely true. And I'm trying to get out.
You're out. You're in the metaverse right now. You're actually.
I can get out. Yeah, I can get out. But it's just like, it's only just been happening in a couple of weeks' time. And as I say, but also I'm still sort of like really new to this. I am, and I don't want to sort of like say I can know it all and everything else. So I'm trying to, as I say, walk before I can run at the same time.
This is the cool thing. I've said this a lot too. A lot of times I walk around with the AirPod in, and then I'm going to pass it over to Coach after this. But a lot of times I'll walk around with an AirPod in, and it's like I'm in half of me is in a different world, right? Because I'm hearing one thing. I'm hearing this group of friends, this different place, and then the other half of me is like cooking for my kid, or, you know, I'm making somebody cereal. I'm doing something else. So I'm in 2 worlds at once. So there's very much like a whole world here that you get to be part of. So like, dude, listen, this is what I want to invite you to do. Hang out on stage, talk. We're going to pass the mic right now over to Coach. But the reality is like, dude, you are out. Even though half of you is there, the other half of you is here with us, and we're doing this thing. And then the cool thing is we can actually clip that content out and capture certain moments and then put it out there. So it just lives forever and it just keeps doing its thing. So I want to hear more about your story as well, and help you kind of craft that. I think it'd be dope. What's up, Joey?
I was going to say, I actually have 2 friends. One of them was born like, I don't know what he has, but he has a full like neck down disability. And my other friend is paralyzed from the waist down. And both of them, similar situations, right? There's not a whole lot that they can do. And they've become like streamers. They stream full time. They have great followings. That's you know, like, so I think, you know, a physical disability might restrict certain things you can do in the outside world, but when it comes to creating content, whether it's like a gamer, it could just be doing podcasts, like it's limitless, because especially now with AI, and the ability to implement like AI tools, there's so much you can do just from your home that you could reach the world and do such amazing things. And I wanted to echo what Melina said about Coach. I did the same thing. I'm playing with a sock here. I didn't start my first Twitter space or even get involved with co-hosting a Twitter Spaces for at least like 4 to 6 months. I wanted to attend as many as I could, learn what the good hosts are doing, learn what the bad hosts are doing. I went up as a speaker. I would listen back to the things I would say as a speaker, how long I would talk, like all of that stuff. And then I said, and I wasn't even ready, but somebody pushed me to start a Spaces with somebody else because they're like, you guys vibe so well together, you should just do it. And it's kind of it's what I say all the time about the Web3 space with Web2 businesses. Come here and live it for 6 months and then launch a business. Don't just show up and think you can take over.
Yeah, for sure. I love that. And hey, by the way, William, 2 things. I would love for you to update your W to a picture of your face. Any face. It could be a picture of a squirrel or a turtle or some odd cartoon animal like most of the people here. Or you could be you could be a man. You just show a picture of a man. It doesn't even have to be you. It just be just something. That'll definitely be a big part of it. And I want to invite you to watch on YouTube too, because we got a bunch of smiling faces on here. And it's just going to be a good time.
And an adorable 4-month-old baby.
Yeah, and little Joey.
That's cheat mode, baby. So
Come find us on YouTube, guys. I put the link down below. Before we bring up Giancarlo, I just want to say too, William, if your goal here is to, get people to understand your story, what I would say, and I think it's super important, and Gary Vee has done this very well, is to document what's going on.
Yeah.
I would start by writing what's going on in your mind. What are you doing daily? I would even start maybe.
I find that really. I know that sounds really sad, but I find it really difficult because obviously guys, I've got I've got nerve damage and that, and I twitch a lot and everything else, and so I just literally it's
voice recording.
You
could vlog, right? Like you could vlog. Open up the.
Just give me 2 minutes. I'm trying to change my picture because I can actually show you what's inside my neck. Because as I say, it's a C1 fracture. It's a titanium rod, which basically the C1 fracture is basically where they hang you. So I shouldn't be here. I shouldn't be here. I shouldn't. And I broke my neck 13 years ago in a rugby accident, and then I learned how to walk again. I met Roger Daltrey. I picked up an award because I basically, kept on going and that and everything else. But 3 years ago, I just basically lost all mobility and so forth and so on. And then I had nerve damage. But because of COVID and so on and everything else, I wasn't seen to. And then they just left me. Honestly, I'm not joking. I've had no support in any way, shape or form. It's just myself that's kept me going. And, I'm not a preacher, but, I believe that I wake up in the morning and thank God that I'm, because most people would turn the other way to drink or alcohol, and I don't drink, I don't do drugs. I mean, I smoke rollies, but that's it.
Just the rollies.
That's it. But
I love it.
but I'm literally, I sing. I've got 7,500 followers. I sing in my home, and I literally just try to bend myself, and I've got these 7 books that are coming as well, just to sort of get some more knowledge as well, because I want a way out, but I've got to do it for myself because I haven't, obviously you can get followers and stuff like that, but I really haven't got any kind of true friends and that. And I've gone off social media, as in Facebook. I've closed my account from that. I'm on TikTok, but that's just for fun.
Hey,
that's just
listen,
for something,
William,
just to sort of
I just gave you a follow back.
Out. But yeah,
I want to get your story. I'm going to capture it. Not right now, but I'm going to capture your story. You already made a lot of it. But listen, you literally, we just captured a lot, parts of your story. Anyway, there's a lot of people, William, I want to introduce you to. There's my friend Jillian and my friend Violetta, my friend Sammy. I've got a bunch of friends that are in this space that do a lot of cool stuff. I'm going to stop you there on your story because I want to actually expand on it. And I've had a lot of these one-on-one, like podcast style interviews with people. Me and Melina have had those conversations. I'm going to be doing more of them. We got Coach and Kenton up here and Joey. And like, I
I've tried to go on the radio. I've tried to go on the radio. Yeah, I've tried to go on the radio and everything. You know, I've tried the phone, but it's so far right and so far left here, and I'm not making that crap.
No,
but
you found
I
your way
see
right
it,
down the middle. This is where
I'm invested already.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
I'm ready. Like
100%,
Coach is shaking his head.
Yeah.
Like I'm ready for this story. I'm ready for this like movie.
Thank you,
This
guys.
to like, yeah, like it's like you just gave me the trailer, and now I'm like waiting for the release date.
For sure. Joe, I mean,
Yeah. And I also want, I want to give back as well. I want to give back. I don't want to just go out on my own and then just, I want to give back as well. And that's the whole idea. I think that's what the whole idea is. At the end of the day, when you make something of yourself to give back and then sort of make something of someone else, and then just carry on and then feed the ideas off each other and then just keep on going and then just progress from there, and then get rid of these flipping oligarchs that are flipping in charge. And put them where they deserve to belong, and have a community that are actually out to make the community grow, because that's what it's all about. Because you can't take it with you. You're only here once. You know what I mean? So you might as well make a difference while you can. So that's what I'm trying to do. And yeah,
and you got a dope voice. So you got that. It's like a Trojan horse. You just say whatever, and people will just be like, I want to hear this guy. I love it.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Oh, I'm gonna go on mute again now. Thank you.
I think we've got a few people. Giancarlo, I think, wanted to speak.
Let's do it. Over to you, Giancarlo.
Hey guys, how you doing? Thanks for having me on the stage.
Hey, we're like 5 people up here that are just like vibing, listening to these voices coming from Twitter, and it's awesome. But thank you for being here with us.
Quick question for you: Are you guys? So you guys are right now on streaming through StreamYard, linking it over here to Twitter Space?
Yeah. I'm a weirdo, and I just publicly
posted
awesome. The link to StreamYard. So like, you can randomly just be in here with us. I don't normally do that, but it sounded fun.
Yeah. No, that's cool. That's cool. Actually, that's funny. It's one of the things I'm looking to do, because I do want to be able to. So actually, well, first and foremost, to answer the question of the topic here, but Twitter Space content is definitely content creation, right? Because that for me, like, is basically like one of the primary forms of like content that I'm creating right now. Like, I host a weekly, Twitter Space, and then use that like recording audio to then, I can. I have AI tools to get like the transcripts, to then be able to like use that for other content, and be able to then create clips and things with Beat.io. So I think definitely people should be taking more advantage of recording the Spaces content and using it for like so many different other purposes. So definitely want to say yes to that question that you posed at the top, but I'm actually trying to I want to actually do more stuff kind of like what you're doing too, like to try to use something like a StreamYard or something to that effect, to be able to also have like video incorporated for some of it, but then still be able to have like the Twitter Space component for like interaction, and because I love the like audience engagement aspect of having like people on the space in Twitter, but I think it'd be cool to be able to, like kind of incorporate a little bit of both. So I love what you guys, how you're doing that, right, with StreamYard and then linking it back to the Twitter Space.
I love it.
Giancarlo, teach me how to clip and create really cool content from Twitter Spaces. I will be your Padawan.
That's what we're doing. That's all. That's what these spaces are for. So me and Melina every week are showing up and doing this. And we actually even said today is going to be a long space. So we're going to be here, be comfy, and you don't have to stay. Like, there's no obligation. There's like, oh shit, I showed up on their live stream. I'm stuck here for hours. Like, leave when you need to leave, but we want you here. Here's the point though. Everybody always asks me, how do I do this? How do I add this component? And they're like pulling me to the side and being like, hey, how do I do that? Can we do like a one-on-one? You show me, and I'm like, how about this? Why don't I tell everybody, because it's a level playing field. There's no gatekeeping. If you win here, it's because you deserve to win, not because you know something that other people don't know. That's some trash. I'm not into that at all. So I want to do workshops specifically on all the different little steps. And I've been doing this for a long time, and it's hard. It's hard for me. Everything breaks. You got to fix it real time, live, and that's okay. That's what live streams are about. So I do want every Spaces host to have access to that information. If they so choose, I want them to be able to. If they want to join a live stream like Coach and not even be able to get a word in edgewise, I want them to be able to comment on the YouTube live stream so that it pops up so that I can display it on the damn live stream. And yeah, so there's all this fun stuff that we can do. And I just want to let you guys all know, like, I want you all to know how to do all this stuff. So keep showing up and we'll do specific workshops just for how to make one type of content, how to do the live streaming side of things, how to build a website so you can lead all roads to Rome. Like all those different things, like it's just free. Yeah, I don't want anything from anybody. Just show up and hang out with me and Melina, and hopefully she keeps showing up to co-host with me. But I'll do it alone. I'll do it all by my damn self to a room with one person in there, as long as there's one person to hear. So, all right, that's my soapbox.
I did want to comment a little. Here's why I say Twitter Spaces is not content creation. The reason why I say this is because, and I also love the interaction that we have with everyone. But let's get one thing clear. On a Twitter space, we can derail, and then the topic changes after 20 minutes, and then there's nothing very, very specific, right? Like we created a really nice title, but we haven't even gotten to the part of like content creation. But what's great about Twitter Spaces, and I want people to understand, because this is why there are different platforms, right? The only thing that I find is missing with the Twitter space is the video aspect. And why I preach video is because this is the only chance you get to really feel like you are connecting with the person you are listening to, right? Like right now, we're all here and it's so nice to see. We have Joey's baby here, and you can't get that on a Twitter space. You just can't. And like, I want you to prove me wrong. But you can't. You just cannot, because video just really takes it to the next level, okay? And I read this article this week. Now, please, I don't have the reference here right now, but I will just say there are numbers right now coming out saying that podcasts are on the decline. Audio spaces are on the decline, guys. They are not going up. They are going down. People are consuming less and less audio. Now, is it because of COVID, right? There's so many factors, Chris, that we can say, well, people just don't have the time. I like to say, not only do we not have the time, people don't care.
That's right.
People do not care. You got to get people to care, right? The only way we can do that, truthfully, is through that video, right? There's a reason why TikTok blew up the way it does. And it did. And they don't even have an option to, well, now they do. You can post some pictures, but it's mostly video, right? We see YouTube Shorts going the
you can live stream on TikTok too.
You can live stream on TikTok too. But I mean, there's a reason for that. And I think also in this article, guys, and I'm sorry because I don't have it in front of me, but it was also showing that Instagram is also on the decline ever since they said we're bringing pictures back. Now, isn't that crazy? Like, I mean, isn't it hilarious that Instagram was like, we're going to go back to what we used to do? And this is what I like to tell people. Just like the same way about like NFTs and how projects are building. If you are choosing to build the same way we were in 2021, you will not be here in 2024, friends. I need to stress that, because just like the world's changed, we're all changing the way we're consuming. So I just want people to understand, yes, it's great. I love that you're doing the Twitter spaces. I just want people to make sure that those 2 hours you are spending, make sure it can at least give you 10, 20 pieces of content.
Exactly.
Right? Like that's the thing. And the missing piece is the video element. That's just what it is.
I love that you said that. Hey, I also, I'm going to tell you a shortcoming that I have in 10 seconds. I suck at managing a live stream and a stage at the same time. And we've had Emily with her hand up the whole time. And one thing that I think it's so easy to do is to not be paying attention to the stage like I need to. And I want to hear from Emily really bad. So I'm going to try to do as better as I can. Emily, how are you doing?
I am good. What's up, Chris? I'm super happy and excited to get to speak to you, the legend, right? So I am very happy to be here. Melina, hello, what's up? I really, really, I like you a lot. I think
I love you.
And so, and Joey, I wanted to say your song, pump it up. You gotta pump it. It gives me life whenever you get into the DJ network in the morning. So don't stop.
Awesome. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. I like to say hello. Yeah. I like to say hello before I start. So you guys are rocking my word a little bit with the Twitter Spaces content. That it's not content creation, but I get where you guys are going. Giancarlo, you mentioned about videos. So what I'm asking is about framework. So for me, I'm more of the writer side, right? So I take notes. I show up in spaces, and sometimes there's a lot, right? So I'm getting better at building frameworks, but I want to know about you guys. Like, how do you frame already in your mind what you will focus on so that you don't waste time on stuff that is not really going to be your priority? Like whether it is for video, like do you guys have like a game plan to say, okay, so I'm going in this space and this is what I'm going to get? Yeah, this is what I would love to hear from you guys. So thank you for the stage. I'm done speaking.
Oh, she got that clubhouse etiquette. I love
Yeah.
it. Let's go.
But this is a juicy question. This is a juicy question because it's almost like, let me pick your brain. And I love when people want to pick my brain, but I don't know, Chris, if you wanted to jump in first, or Joey, or
I always talk. I'll talk for. I mean,
so go ahead. You go first. I want to hear. I want to hear from Chris.
Okay. Wow. Well, I guess I built the soapbox, so I should stand on it. Okay. So I think when it comes to what I'm going to choose to focus my time on, a lot of it, I could tell you this from having, especially in this Web3 space, I've found that there are very few things that fill up my cup, right? There's very few things that are life-giving to me. Almost everything is extraction. If you're talented at anything, you will realize that, because people will come to extract the thing that they want from that talent. They'll try to hitch up to your wagon, and you'll realize, like, why do I feel so tired? All I did was go the same distance as I usually do. And then you're like, oh, because I got a bunch of people dragging behind me, clinging to my coattails or whatever. And that sucks, right? But then there's a different side of that. Maybe the thing that you're going after, nobody's attached to you. Maybe the thing that you're learning about isn't filling you up. It's not like hitting your heart. You're just getting all this information. We've got so much information coming at us from every angle, and very few of it is for us. It's just out there, and we're just getting hit with it constantly. So I say intentionally decide, what are the things that fill you up? For me, it's talking about content creation. I love it. So I do this stuff because if it doesn't exist, I'll go make it so that I can get re-energized, because if I don't have that for too long, I get bummed out. I'm not as creative as I want to be. I'm not as ambitious as I want to be. There's all these things that, like, my gears are running on a certain kind of oil. And if I don't get oiled up by that stuff, by the things that are for me, then my gears just start grinding to a halt. So I really do think that there are things out there that you'll know. Like, I'm a big fan of listening to my gut. My gut is dope. And so, yeah. What about anybody else? How do you find where you should spend your time here?
So for me, I try to, and I think I talked about this with Melina once before, like, I try to surround myself with people that have the same ethos as me. So, like, for example, she mentioned the DGen network. Like, I found the DGen network because of Saturday morning cartoons, and that's from Gentle Tornado and some other people. And it's all about spreading positivity and energy, and like what you're grateful for and thankful for. And like, so I try to join into spaces or where I feel like that's my personal ethos, right? And that's where the Pump It Up started. It started on the Saturday morning cartoons. Like, we were just there was so much energy, and I was like, I think we need to pump it up. And then all of a sudden they started playing the song, and I'm like, you know what? That's it. That's my intro from now on. Everywhere I go, and I do a couple other things too that I feel like represent who I am. Like, whenever I'm in the spaces, I tell people to randomly stop on somebody, follow them, send them a DM, say, hey, I found you in this spaces, make a new friend, right? So I try to, for me, I've been through a lot in my life, and I'm not shy about it. I tell people all the time, like, I love I love mental health and wellness spaces. I talk about like, you know, how I was in therapy for over 3 years. I talk about like the struggles I went through when I was out of work and on food stamps and unemployment, and right. Like I talk about like so like I'm not shy. I believe that if like my wife and I have 2 kids, they're both from IVF. You know, 1 in 8 couples suffer from infertility. We're very outspoken about our journey and difficulties with IVF and how difficult it was and the toll it took on us. So like I try to surround myself and be with people that that have that same ethos and want to help, and so that's how I found Melina, and that's, you know, now how I found you. Like I believe in sharing positivity and love, and so that's what fills me up. So like whenever I go on these Twitter spaces and like I talk about whatever I talk about, really the only reason why I'm there is to play Pump It Up and get people hyped up and like and spread the love. And then the other stuff I talk about is extra.
Because that positivity just flowed right out to. We haven't heard from Ken on the live stream yet.
I mean, Steve's got great hair too.
He does. I mean, look at all these handsome dudes, and we've got beautiful Melina here. But this is something I want to do. I haven't heard from this guy. We just found out that he has beautiful hair. He even broke out the cute animal. All this stuff.
Cute kitty.
You see him in the way though? This is ridiculous. Come here, all of it. No, it's not your turn right now. All right.
It's an economy, Kenton, and you're winning. You got the hair and the cute animal.
Thank you. No, it's
you to spend your time here, man.
It's a loaded question, because it's funny that this is even the topic, because to be honest, that's why I came on this space today, because Melina, I agree with you. I don't know if Twitter spaces are real content. And that's what I'm starting to realize is I'm starting to feel like it's all more of a group discussion, like hanging out with friends almost. And at the end of the day, I look back at it and I go, okay, is this moving me towards my end goal of being a content creator? And the idea is I don't really know. I don't really know anymore. And that's why I even wanted to be here. So no, Emily, when you bring that up, I think that it is a form of content to consume, but I'll tell you, it's tough on the people who are putting that out there, because Chris, I feel it completely. I feel that when you do put any amount of extroverted talent out there where you're performing to any extent, people just come and they extract it from you. It's like all of this energy right now is just, you know, it's going through the camera. It goes out into whatever universe there is right here through Twitter Spaces and StreamYard and YouTube. And yeah, it's beneficial for a lot of people. I think it's also beneficial for us up on here. It's a great way to quantify and explain how we feel about content creation and all these thoughts and subjects. But is it building at the end of the day? And even if it is it effectively building? Yeah, and I'm just not sure if it's... Oh, who is that? Was that William?
It was William.
William's got a hot mic.
Yeah, for a sec. This is what we're going to do.
Sorry.
Hey, this is a weird etiquette thing too, just because I know a lot of times people don't walk you through this. So because we've got people on stage and on Twitter Spaces, I'm actually going to be like searching back and forth between it. So I'm going to go to hands basically. And it sounds dumb. I hated raising my hand in Twitter Spaces. I absolutely hated it. But William, when anytime you're up, I don't know if you dropped down on accident, but if you're back up here and you want to chat and raise your hand, by all means, dude, I want to hear from you. Let's just wait until we go to hands. Because Coach has had his hands up, and Giancarlo and Kenton. Go ahead, continue, bro.
No, you're totally good. No, it really is so interesting, because like you even bring up the hands thing. Yeah, it's like it's not a classroom, but it really is a group discussion. And that is why I did this. I'll tell the truth. I messaged Chris today and I asked him a bunch of questions. I was like, hey, I want to talk to you about things. I'd like to ask about content creation, because I am feeling so lost with all of this at this point. And that was what this was. And he said, come by the space. Let's talk about it. And then when I saw the YouTube link, I thought, well, I'm trying to move into video more. So this is probably what I should do. So while it is content, I really think that the bigger question, guys, is this how you effectively build? Because we could be spending our time promoting this on a lot of different mediums. We could be elsewhere. We could be on Twitch. We could be on Kick. We could be, other places. And then there's ways to diversify, stream it to others. You could also have a
thinking of Austin Powers. I don't know what's going on. We've got a baby. We've got a kitty cat, like a pussy cat. I don't even know.
It's getting out of control.
Twins, Basil, twins.
For everyone who can't see the space, actually Kenton has a hairless cat, and his name is also Mr. Bigglesworth. So That's what you're missing if you're not watching. I'm talking
that-
to you, DJ Warrior.
Kenton, before you shut down, no, I'm just kidding. What is that, a painting or is that an action? That's a painting behind you.
Oh my God, it's
a green screen.
It's a green screen.
Yeah.
The problem is that it doesn't extend all the way out, so you see the red at some times, and that is what's going on in your head.
That's an awesome background.
It's a really good one.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
thank
thought that was either a painting or like the most amazing view from your office.
Okay, well then, now that he says that, yes, this is a painting. It was an extremely expensive piece of NFT artwork, and I'm just fortunate enough to have collected it. And here it is.
I want to go back. I want to go back to this idea of building, but let's just get Giancarlo because he had his hand up. I just want to hear from everyone, and then I'll give my thoughts.
Yes, please.
I think Coach had his hand before me, so I do want to be respectful of that. If you want to go ahead, Coach.
I'll go ahead, Giancarlo. I'm sitting here looking at all these beautiful people, and it's just, I mean, this is entertaining enough. I'll go after you. No worries. Go for it, my friend.
Cool. All right, no, appreciate that. So, I actually, Melina, like a lot of the stuff you mentioned earlier, that's kind of why I had my hand up as well. I mean, I agree with a lot of what you mentioned, in terms of like the fact that we do need to be constantly, adapting, right, to how things are changing, right, and the trends and everything like that. So I think that makes, perfect sense. Kind of surprised. I was surprised to hear like the whole podcast thing, like being kind of on the decline, because I do find personally as like I know, and I was surprised because I do find personally that like, although I do prefer watching video for sure, there are times where like I can't, like because either I'm doing chores or driving or something else, right? And in those situations, I'm listening to like audiobooks or podcasts purely on audio, So I guess from my point of view, I feel like it'd be important to more or less like kind of look at it from like an and perspective, right? If you can have content that can cater to video and audio, awesome, right? Because then you can actually like basically promote your stuff into multiple media, multiple platforms, etc. Right? So I think that there's probably a still market and consumers for both sides of it. You did mention before that like you thought that the spaces wasn't content creation, right? And I think that my 2 cents on it is that I feel like not every maybe space is created equal, I guess, right? Like and the way I'll frame that is because, for example, like actually Jennifer, who's my co-host on my weekly spaces, is on here as well as a speaker. Thanks for joining. Like for example, like we do a weekly space, right, where we like to actually do kind of like an interview format with like a guest person, and we'll prepare and have questions and things like ahead of time, right? And as part of that process, we're record the space, and essentially there is content creation there. But then we like the aspect of having it still like on a Twitter space, because then later you can kind of bring other people like into the conversation and the dialogue and all that. And so like we still like that aspect of it versus just making it purely like an interview and just streaming it somewhere, right? So and that's kind of the reason why I've still like stuck to doing it on a Twitter space. But I'm interested in like the whole idea and kind of like what you guys are doing now, or maybe you could still have it like on another platform and then stream it over and still be able to have like a Twitter space for that component, right? But nonetheless, like, yeah, so I think like, you could have a space, like just depending on how you format it, how you're facilitating it, where you can still like, you can still be creating content, right? And still be having good content out of that then you could then save, record, clip, do a lot of other stuff with, right? And that's kind of like the way I've been approaching it, right? Is really just, using it as a form of content. I already have a big audience or bigger audience here than maybe on some other platforms, but I am looking to diversify and then see how to, expand that into, other things that I can share on TikTok or Instagram or whatever, right? So, but anyhow, so I do think it is a form of content, creation. I think it depends a lot on like how you're structuring it, how you facilitate. Obviously, it's an art and a skill, to be able to do that and really, not let it just ramble on or go all over the place. But then there are other spaces as well that are more of like a chill and a hangout, and people just get together. Maybe there's not really a set agenda, and I'd say maybe that's not so much content creation. It's more of like, let's just come and hang out. But I think it all just depends a lot on how you structure it and how you approach it.
I appreciate that, dude. And this is something that I actually want to kind of be fully transparent about is, especially when I do stuff like this, the point is that I want people to learn about content creation. I want them to learn where they fit in, where they could be valuable, where they can earn, where they're, like what's life-giving for them. Maybe you like being a host. Maybe you like filming video. Maybe you like writing. Maybe you like timestamping. There's so many things that you could be valuable in the space and make money for and be appreciated for, because God knows we need all the content creators we can get. And so, number one, it is a bit of clickbait that I want to get people in here. Number two, guess who one of my customer avatars is? It's Spaces hosts. Ooh, I bait. Hey, and this is what the thing is. I serve Spaces hosts. That's why it's a customer avatar, because that's who I could serve with the stuff that I know. And to your point, Giancarlo, format is so big, and it's such a great thing when you see Spaces hosts that have taken the time to craft their format and make it fun to sit in there and have all these repeated things. Like it, to me, it's what I love. And that's like a magnet for Chris. Like you do that, and all of a sudden I just swim up next to you like, hey, have you ever done video? Like that's always how I try to do it. Cause I work with a dude named Sansa, amazing host. He's so fun to listen to. Thread guy, he's another guy that's amazing to listen to. And all these guys do is build all of this crazy format. It's so fun. So sure, you could totally be making content real time during your spaces.
Okay, here's where I'm going to come in. I'll be the devil's advocate here because I get it, right? I think this is the scariest slope. I think at this point, yes, everyone can be a content creator. Don't get me wrong. But here's the difference. Do you want to create content and make money? Or are you creating content because you're having fun? And I'm seeing everyone here like, oh, she just dropped it. Because this is where this is where I'm at, guys. And it's not mean, it's not malicious, but let me just say it. I'm not a futter. It's none of that. Okay. Everyone and their mom is doing a Twitter space. Okay. Do you know how many Twitter spaces are happening right now at the same time? So much. So here's where I'm at. Okay. And this is why I'm saying, maybe it's not so much that piece of content. Here's where I'm at. There needs to be some sort of structure, yes. But are you creating this to make money? Is there an end game? Are we sending people to your website? Are you selling something? And if you're not, that's fine too, guys. I'm not saying we're all here to make $5, okay? That's not the point. What I'm saying is, yes, you can spend a lot of time. And I know Chris knows, because doing a Twitter space and you're going to spend 2 hours, is that the best time to be spending those 2 hours in your Twitter space? What did you really, really, truly, truly get out of it? Right? And I'm not here saying you need to get something out of it. Of course not. That's not like, but are you better off doing a 30-minute no space show, interviewing someone? You do it yourself, you edit it, you chop it up, you put it on YouTube, you do your thing, whatever, right? Or are you doing the Twitter space to get more followers because you're doing more of the Web3 stuff? And that's something I talked about this morning too on Mosher's spaces. I said, listen, there is nothing wrong with spending your days on Twitter spaces. But here's where I'm at. What about Web4? What about the new social media app that's going to come out? Because it's going to come out.
Yep.
What are you going to do then? So my question is never about, is this better than that app? Which app should we be on? I'm here saying the content you're creating today, will it stand on the next biggest thing? And that's where I'm at. And so what I was also referring to this week was, when we create content, I also think about creating content that can still be here in 6 months. Because let's face it, guys, it's a lot of work. We're here saying we're going to take the show, we're going to chop it up, we're going to cut it up, we're going to put captions, we're going to do video. Chris and I are laughing because it's a lot of work. Yeah. It doesn't actually take 2 minutes, okay? So there's that. So how much time are you willing to put in to do all that work, right? There's that focus. And then there is the content you are doing. Is it still relevant tomorrow? And I'm saying this because I started too. I was doing Twitter space and I was recording it and I was chopping up. And then I realized, wait, this is no longer good next week. By the time I get this all edited, fixed up, it's no longer relevant. So here's where I'm at. I'm thinking I would much rather focus on what is my mission? What am I here to do? And it's not NFTs. I'll tell you right now, it is not NFTs. It's not NFTs for me because I love NFTs. Don't get me wrong. But look, I posted today, I'm going and attend a food festival in a couple of weeks. And I was like, what is wrong with me going to a food festival? Because I have so many different layers, right? But I'm also focusing on more evergreen content because that will live on. And I know Chris is shaking his head because we know so many creators out there. We all love Gary Vee. We've been seeing Gary Vee's videos. He doesn't even look like that anymore. That's how old that video is, guys, right? So that's where I'm at. When we're talking about content creation, it's not only about which platform we're on. It's about focusing on that strategy, that mission, and where is this leading to? Right? Where is this leading to? So there is actually no wrong answer. This was just a clickbait question, but I want people to focus on where am I going? And I had someone this morning tell me, oh, whoa, I wasn't even thinking about the next 5 years. That's okay too. I'm just here playing devil's advocate, but I'm here saying, why are you doing it? What's your end goal? What's the purpose? What do you want to be known for? What if Twitter shuts down tomorrow? What do you do? What's the plan?
If you could drop that mic, I would ask you to do it, but don't because
Okay.
it's already. So I should just pick it up and drop it. So here's the beautiful thing. That was a super powerful moment. Got a bunch of dudes up here that were just silent, just looking at Melina, and she was just spitting facts and fire. And that's content. Now we get to chop that up and give it to her and be like, here, throw this at the next person that says, I don't know, I haven't thought about what I'm going to do in the next 5 years. Because now instead of her having to repeat herself over and over and over again, she could have that video. She could link it up. She could post it on Twitter and Twitch and Instagram and all the places. And so, yeah, I love that. And
But Chris, I want your take on this. What do you think? Because again, I'm not trying to, FUD anyone. I want people to succeed. This is why we're doing this space. But what is your take, when people say, well, I'm taking the space and I'm doing this, we hear it out every day. But again, right? I'm just trying to reiterate, what is the end goal?
Yeah, I mean, well, listen, for me, it's pretty. I've chased the vanity metrics. I've done the thing. I got the little cute plaque, and I was so happy that everybody was excited for me and all that. And it's cool, and I love it. But that's a box that has been checked. I don't care about how many followers or subscribers or this, that, or the other if it's not moving me closer to an actual goal. And so, what my goals are, what your goals are, those are going to be different. But you have to know where you're flying the plane. Because, you're going to run out of gas eventually. You're going to have to land that thing somewhere. And does that look like a brand deal? Does that look like philanthropy? Is there some measurable metric beyond views and people that care about you, that you can look at? Is there a key performance indicator? You're going to have to learn stupid acronyms. I hate it, but it's true. Who's your demographic, blah, 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 blah. How many of those things, did you sell stuff? Is that what happened? Did you make content and then stuff sold? Because that's a KPI that I could get behind. Did you drive a bunch of Discord users to a Discord? Did you sell a certain amount of product, or did you raise a certain amount of money for a good cause? There's got to be those kind of things. And I think very, very often people get caught up in the hey, I'm a content creator, I'm making something, or I'm getting subscribers, I'm getting views and all that stuff, but they're not really flying that plane in any particular direction. And so a lot of times they'll be like, oh, that's a new trend, let me change course over here, let me change course, and pinball around. And every single time that ends up in people burning out, because you can't stay in the air forever. If you're a plane, you got to land. You got to know why you're doing what you're doing. You got to know your destination, all that. So for me, it's going to look different than other people. But I do think it's a question that takes a certain amount of time to get beyond the dopamine of how many views did I get? Did somebody think that was a good video? Did they think that was a good tweet? You know what I mean? Did they like my demo of this or that? Or even it could even be did I sell enough of those things? You might be selling a whole bunch of widgets for a while and then realize, dude, I don't even care about widgets. Every day, all I do is talk about these damn widgets. I'm slanging widgets like crazy. I don't even like widgets anymore. What am I doing with my life? So I think that there's a component of it that has to be, it has to be like replenishment, you know? So that's me. That's my take. Some
Chris,
people
I
don't
just
have money.
wanted to add, last week I posted a video and is Giancarlo still here? I hope we didn't lose him.
No, he's there.
I'm still here. Yeah.
Okay, great. I did a video where I unboxed a pair of earrings that I got that were attached to my NFT. The NFT project did not ask me to do this. Okay. And I was here thinking to myself, and I think a lot of us, that's why, because I can so relate, because I'm here, guys, with you. I do this on a daily. I feel you, right? Emily, we love you. So nice to see you. Bye, girl. Not only did the project not retweet it, they didn't care for it. They just like whatever with it. And I'm telling you guys, I was a little disappointed. Not because I did the video and I was like, I hope they send me some free NFT. Like, that's not the point. I really, again, my mission is to show people, every other person who comments on my freaking TikTok videos, NFTs are a scam. I was so happy to show them actual utility. Okay. So it wasn't about going and reach the NFT project. But let me tell you, there was a part of me that was like, oh, they didn't even retweet this.
Right.
And I had so many people writing to me like, they should pay you. They should pay you. And again, I'm going to go back to my questions. What is your goal? Why are you doing this? I did it because I wanted to showcase something. But again, that video brought me nothing.
All right.
So I feel like I just had a come to Jesus moment. Like I literally feel like do you ever sometimes when you're like talking to people or talking to someone and they're really not talking to you, they're just like talking, but then there's like this point in the conversation where you're like, this is getting really personal. Right. And it's not intentional, but I feel like that's happening right now because like for the longest time I love to talk. I'm a talker. That's why I love Twitter Spaces. You know, that's why I love Twitch streaming and putting my face on the Twitch stream and interacting, right? But I am not a good writer. It is where I've tried to adapt and like write threads and things like that, and it's just not me. It feels so inorganic, right? And I'm listening to you guys talk about like, you know, content, and I'm like, for the last couple of weeks, I've been like, I really got to learn how to clip content and turn it into something that's more that I can put it out, that I can use. Because you're right, nobody's going back and listening to the recordings of my Twitter Spaces. Nobody cares. Nobody has the time for that.
They're not even going to go back and watch this live stream.
No, but they will watch a 30-second clip that
course.
you add in like cool captions and emojis and whatever. They will watch that, right? And I'm like sitting here and I'm listening. I'm like, oh, you know, like this is all really cool and useful. And I'm like, damn it, they're talking to me. Damn it, this is so personal. Stop it. I feel attacked.
Yes, they stop yelling at me. That's the truth.
So I need to 100% learn, because I do love, I taught myself Photoshop, Premiere Pro. Like I've taught myself all that stuff just from watching on YouTube. And now with the Chat GPT, it's even easier to learn stuff. I really do need to learn how to clip and create like those cool little things when someone has a hot take or says something or whatever. And like I said, I feel attacked. So I'm going to go and learn how to do that stuff. So that way my content doesn't just disappear into space.
But stop it. Don't feel attacked. This is what I always say. Sometimes I catch myself. I feel like everything Gary Vee says, I feel like sometimes I'm repeating, right? And then, but I tell myself, it's going to click for somebody else. And that's also part of my messaging. You are you, and that is your superpower. It's going to take that person 10 times to hear it, but it's going to be that 10th time in this space. And then you're like, oh, I got it. Right? It's always like, it's astonishing to me because my partner too would tell me things like, crypto. And then Gary Vee was like, hey, NFTs, Web3, Ethereum, don't forget to buy your ETH. And I was like, what's this? My boyfriend was so mad at me. He's like, but I've been telling you about this. I'm like, I know, but it made more sense when Gary said it. And it's just part of the thing. And sometimes too, I hear it a lot from other creators. You know, some of my clients are like, oh, but people are doing this already. Yes, but they're not doing it like you.
Not your face, not your voice. Not Coach's voice, not Coach's face. There's Coach. His hand has been up. He can put it down now. How are you, Coach? Sorry it took so long.
Hey, it's all good. That's like, that's part of the vibe, right? Like we're trying to figure this out. And again, for anybody that doesn't really understand what's going on, since it looks like all of us are talking through Chris and you hear all these different things. One thing I was thinking about as I was going through it, if I were on the other side, is like saying who's talking coming into it. So that way people know. I think that's one thing, just a quick learning.
I like that.
And just to kind of create awareness. And then also, if you guys haven't looked, the YouTube, it's down in the comments. If you want to pull up and see what all of us look like, it's a cool opportunity for you to do that. But like, I took so many notes and I'm going to try to get through them very, very quickly. But like, there were so many hot takes. I'm going to start with the most recent thing. And I think that Joey is like the 42-year-old version of myself, right? Like, I think we're like the kindred spirits. And I say that because I'm older than you, Joey. So deal with it. Yeah, I'm older than you.
Well, with that being said, we look pretty amazing for our age.
We do. I'm turning 44 this year.
I don't think we look a day over 35 personally.
No, not at all. Not at all.
And we rock that salt and pepper like no other.
I just got it cut yesterday. It's fantastic. There's nothing like it. But like, this is the type of stuff. What you said landed with me a lot, Joey. And again, like I said, I took notes, and my whole thinking right now is that every encounter, right, it's not by chance, right? Every interaction, every person that we come across, all of this stuff happens for a reason. I truly believe that, right? Like, there's a reason that Chris, you and I connected, a couple months ago, and we were just chopping it up, and you gave me a quick little bit of feedback because I asked for it, and here it is. And great. And then obviously last week I pull in you, Melina, and like now here we are. And I think that this is these are the things that we need to pay attention to. We need to understand that like all of this is happening every single day, and we need to pay attention. I'm going back to the beginning now. Melina, you talked about audio going down, right? And I agree with I agree to it that I used to run a podcast, and I started a second one with video recently, focused a little bit on Web3, and it fizzled for multiple reasons. But like, the interesting thing is the old podcast, right? I started it up in COVID. It got hot, and then it just tapered off, right? But the one thing that didn't, as we sit and think about it, and you mentioned COVID, people started doing Zoom calls with family members, and like, so face-to-face connection through, even just through this, as I'm sitting there and watching you nod your head, right? Like, that's what's missing in spaces. And particularly, most people don't pay attention to voice inflection. So like, that's one thing that I love and I listen to, and I try to do most of, particularly through audio only. But like, you don't get the visual representation of whether people land with what you're saying, or people are understanding, or you know what, you see them pull away and you're like, oh shit, that didn't go how I wanted to. And I got to be able to bring it back in. So like, I do video outside of face-to-face and in person, and the five of us sitting and chopping it up. This is the best way, in my opinion, to do it. Now, how does it get streamlined, and how do we bring it to, because again, I've been going back and forth between phone, and I've got the YouTube over here so I can type in comments, and it's wonky as hell. And it's still cool. Like, I'm in the Matrix right now. It's really neat. But like, this is what, in tying what Chris said, this is what fills me up. Like, being able to connect on a deeper level with another set of humans, to be able to connect around something that we're all passionate about, that we're learning to grow. Like, that's what this is for. And I think that, like, I'll throw you guys flowers, Chris and Melina, like this, you've created this environment to where it's like, okay, let's come in, let's chop this up. And it's there. Look, there's no pressure. Come, be you, do your thing. Yeah. And you can tell every single person has a passion around it. Like, there's this, like, I still keep going to Joey, and like, even Kenton, right? Like, when you came in and you were asking the questions, like, that resonated with me. And I think that I think people are too scared to ask questions, to be vulnerable, to be like, look, I don't know this. I mean, when Melina's going, well, why are you doing this? What's your end game? Well, shit, like, I love connecting with people. That's why I started a Twitter Spaces yesterday. Now I'm like, why the hell did I start a Twitter Space? I know why I did it, but
can
like,
I get that link? I want to be there.
Tomorrow at noon Pacific Standard Time. It's called the Lunchroom. It's literally, it's so cool. And again, I'm going to go off on a tangent, but like, I created it because I wanted something different, because it's stuff that isn't out there. And ideally, we don't talk NFTs. We don't talk cryptocurrency. We don't talk all the bullshit when floor go up and all that. It's literally a connection of humans talking about just stuff. Yesterday, we talked accountability, and I had somebody on about, he was talking about his journey with drug addiction and like all of this different stuff. But like, that's what I love. I love being able to connect people to their stories and allow them a reflection, and for other people to learn. So like, that's exactly what you've created this environment. Now I'm team Chris, I'm team Melina, I'm team Joey, I'm team Kenton. I want to figure out how we take this to the next level and then what that looks like. So that way we can continue to spread it. I've got more notes, but I like Jennifer's hand is going to fall off. I want to make sure we get to her.
Oh, I appreciate you, man.
Yeah, go.
No, hey, let's do that. But I was like, this guy hasn't got to talk for so long. His hand's been up. He took notes. There's all this. So we'll come back to Coach after, and then we'll go to DJ Warrior. But Jennifer, sorry about your hand. I know it's been up there for a minute. It's probably got a sunburn. How you doing?
Good. Just listening in. Just some things that I've been thinking about. I am kind of in line with what Giancarlo said, that it really should be an and not an or. And I do believe actually that Twitter Spaces has a inherent value, which is that it has a town hall vibe to it. Whereas, for example, when you go to IG and you're watching an IG live video, and those have definitely fallen off engagement wise, because I'm very much over there a lot more than I am here. You're watching the thing that is in the video, right? So there isn't the same level of engagement that can happen in a space, because it's basically one focal point or focal points and an audience that's watching them, versus a Twitter space where if it is properly managed, you have this flow and dynamic that allows for everybody to put their 2 cents in. And oftentimes it does manifest in direct sales for the people that are in the space. I've been in many Twitter spaces where the artists that are being featured then have sales, or that the host of that space garners sales because they've been building a community. Another thing that I wanted to bring up is that Twitter Spaces that are recorded are actually used for, like, let's say NFT NYC. When I did the application to be speaker, they asked for a snippet of that in order to make their determination. Like, it wasn't just the option for a YouTube video. It was also the option for a space, so that they could hear you speak, how you articulate, and then make their decision on whether or not you were going to get that speaker position. And that then can translate to other opportunities, because there are a lot of business people that go to NFT NYC. There are, endless opportunities that can come from that situation. So there's that I wanted to just point out. And then I'm trying to think before I get my train of thought lost. That I feel like there's a place for all of it, money-wise, because let's say I were to invest time in making videos on YouTube, I'm not guaranteed that I'm going to monetize on that. It took me a good time for me to get monetization on my IG page, and I get paid for my reels, right? But that just happened within the last, I want to say 5-6 months. I've been making some nice monthly checks from the reels that I make. Everything takes time to build, whether that's YouTube, whether that's the results from spaces even. So I just think it's an and not an or. People will binge watch long format videos on Netflix. They'll buy Gary Vee's books, but they'll also listen to podcasts, and they will also watch streams of live video. So I just feel like sometimes the goal is definitely to get paid. That's also my goal, long term, but that I'm allowing myself the space to flesh out all of those things and not expect to be a hit on YouTube or an immediate hit here, and that they all kind of have their own inherent value until the next thing comes, like you guys said, some Web4 format, and then I'll learn that too, so my 2 cents.
I just want to tell her right away, I live in Canada, never got paid from Instagram, never got paid from TikTok, never got paid. And I will tell you guys, do not rely on these people to pay you. I know Chris is no. That's one thing too. I just want people to understand, we do not get paid through these apps. If anything, I say I am a slave to these apps because I post. Mm-hmm. I get nothing in return. I want Chris to dive into this because you know it better than I do.
Well, I mean, listen, and I love the fact that I got some money from Instagram, and that temporarily sometimes things are really good. Problem is, if, like they always say, don't build your house on rented property, right? And before I go too much further, Jennifer, I use that quote all the time, and I always drop Gary in there. And I don't know, I'm always fishing for Gary. I'm always just like, hey man, like one time it worked and I got a follow, and I was like, oh yeah, life accomplishment, got Gary. But it's always an and, not an or. And a lot of people, this is actually how we started the room. And matter of fact, and I'm gonna call this out specifically because now I'm a big fan of Joey, because I've seen his face and his baby and his teeth and the baby's eyes and all the things. It's an and, it's not an or. So I don't want to like feed into the idea that like I have to choose, I have to make this choice. Like I'm pot committed over here, so therefore I shouldn't spread myself thin over there. It's like, I don't know, if I can let that Instagram reel maybe make, you know, a few bucks over on Instagram and make no money on TikTok, I don't care. That's cool. I'm not worried. Like, I'm not building my house on Instagram. I'm not building my house on Instagram. Matter of fact, I'm going to take that short form video. I'm going to copy it and spread it out landscape so that it looks good full screen on a computer. I'm going to make a blog post on it. I'm going to talk about everything that I could possibly link up to an Amazon affiliate link. I'm going to post that on my website that I own with my email list. And because I don't want to break terms and services with Amazon, I'm going to tell everybody in my email list, go read the latest public blog that I posted, so they can go there and they could click and get cookied on Amazon, and I could make money from that. And then I could get the, you know, like all these different avenues.
Did everyone take notes? Just dropped a ton of alpha.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but it's one way, right? And then you can
clip
say,
it, clip
like,
it, clip it, clip it.
All right. I will take your word for that, and I'll clip that moment. But there's another thing too, is like, this is a very, very weird one. So if you've ever posted a video and it goes really viral on one place, and another word that you said, Jennifer, that I loved was expect. And you didn't use it in the context of that you should have expectation. I think it was the opposite, which is you can't have the expectation from a platform, because that platform doesn't owe you anything. I love the saying that if you're not paying to be there, you're the product, right? Like, we don't own anything, any of this YouTube stuff, any the Instagram,
blockchain.
I know, but here's the thing.
Blockchain.
I barely care about Web3. I'm going to be honest with you. I
but
barely
here's the thing.
have that information on there. And let me finish, and then I'll go over to you, Joey. But the whole idea of I own the content, I don't need a blockchain for that. I got a website. You know, I don't need to have that website. I could have another website. I could have email lists. I could have in-person events. I could do all these different things. But the idea is just that I never make myself vulnerable to my website or to Twitter or to the local. What if the local building burns down? I had a brick and mortar store for years that I ran all my YouTube stuff through. What if that went away? Like, would I be out of business? No, because I have so many different revenue streams coming through. And when I post a piece of content, I don't just leave it there. If it performs well, I even do this weird cardinal sin of I repost that thing. That's like, oh my God, you've already posted it. You're not allowed to do that. But if I post a TikTok and it gets 1 million views, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to post the same damn video again and get another 1 million view from another different million people, because TikTok's not going to show it to the same people. It's going to show it to someone else. It's a banger. It's going to work. So, all right, I'll go on forever, but I'm not going to. I want to actually give it back to Jennifer really quick, just because that was kind of a response to her.
Yeah, no, I just was, I was giggling because, like, one, I've done that. Like, I've totally done that, where I've revisited a video that like really did well, and I'll repost that because it still counts towards this month's check. So why not? And it's going to be received well again. So I feel you on that. And then the Amazon link thing, I'm also an Amazon influencer, but I don't really post about that like here, because it's more of like my outward face. My external face is more of like the Web3 and the networking and that component of it. But my job is totally unrelated. It's like food service equipment and house stuff. And, you know, I make some money from
Have you done the Amazon videos yet? Not the Amazon influencer affiliates, but have you done the videos? Have you got in their program
No,
yet? Do
I
it.
haven't.
I got
done
friends
that.
making
Yeah?
thousands. It's
Okay.
crazy. We'll talk later about that.
Okay, cool. And then what was it? Shit, I forgot what I was gonna say.
My bad.
No, you're good. It was that when like the Twitter Spaces went to shit like a month ago. when we were in one of the spaces for an artist, he has them on Wednesdays. He was like, you know what, if this continues to happen, we're just going to exchange each other's phone numbers. And then a couple of weeks later, he took it a step further, which was to include like a newsletter into his website. And yeah, like I agree. Like you can't depend on one thing. Like if this were to go tomorrow, can you still talk to your collectors? Can you still sell art to your collectors? Are they still going to have a way of communicating with you? That kind of thing. So yeah, I agree 100%. Like you have to diversify what it is that you're doing, or else you're a slave to whatever
You're a
can happen,
hamster.
and things can happen. Yeah.
You're just spinning their wheels. And hey, listen, if email goes down, SMS, baby, I'm going to text you. I'm going to let somebody's going to hear from me. I will make sure of that. So I do want to go back to Joey because I totally.
Yeah. So on that topic of like reaching your audience. So we talked about it today on Coffee with Captain about why aren't more NFT projects utilizing SMS and email notifications, right? Like I understand that we're trying to like move away from like Web 2 when it comes to Web 3, but like I am a big proponent, and Melina's heard me say this all the time, and I'm sure Ketan has on some of the spaces, like why are we ignoring what's worked for 30, 40, 50 years? Now, email and SMS haven't been around that long, but the point is that there are things that have worked when it comes from a marketing communication standpoint that make sense. So like one of the guys on one of the hosts, Steve, was like, you know, I joined Knights of Degen, and Knights of I was well, Steve joined. It was
Sorry,
like the
that was my
Matrix
fault.
right there. Blue pill, red pill, blue
Unmute.
pill, red pill.
Back, Joey.
What?
Hear you? Oh no.
What happened?
Man, I
Chris,
just-
he was messing around a little bit, and then
Oh, and he must have. All right. So
Yeah.
so
I
Steve
don't know if
was
you guys
saying
can even hear me now.
we
Melina's
can.
laughing. She's like,
We can
"You
hear you.
freaking bozo."
So he
Always.
joined.
I don't know
joined,
why my PC was rugging really quick. So
Can
let's
he
see if
not
I
hear-
can get you back here.
I don't think he can hear you, Joey.
can't hear
I don't
you.
think so.
No.
Guys, remember when I said things break? Sometimes I break them. I'm sorry.
So he was saying
That's
how
good.
he joined
All right, let's
Knights
go
of
back to the
Degen,
PC. We're just
and
gonna
had
do
to,
this
and
live.
there was
I feel like I'm
email
naked
link.
in front of a crowd of people. Nobody
Wait,
can hear you, Joe. besides
Chris,
them.
it's
They
because
can-
you're
the live stream can hear you, but me
Hello?
over here.
Hello.
he can't hear any of us, can he, Joey?
Oh yeah, 1 second. So I don't know if yeah, I'm sure Twitter Spaces. You guys can still hear me, right? DJ Warrior, you can hear me. So what I did was my stream started lagging, and I used 2 different computers, and so I hopped over to the MacBook, and all the audio was just gone. And now we're back.
Okay.
Sorry.
Are we good now?
How's that?
Okay. Are we good?
They can't hear me in the stream, or they can?
No, we can hear you.
Okay, now everybody can hear me. Sorry, I just
Okay.
I pulled shenanigans. Back to
No,
you,
you're good.
Joey.
All right. So Steve made a comment how he joined this community called Knights of Degen, and they had an SMS option, and he signed up for it. And he's literally said, like, I've missed nothing of importance because of SMS, right? And so going back to the whole like communication and like how will you reach your audience, like it's very important, like Chris said, to funnel them to a place. And if that's your website where you capture their email, where they can sign up for alert notifications through SMS, or if it's push notifications through an app, like ignoring all of that because we want to be Web3, it makes no sense. And I think you have to figure out a way beyond just having a follower count to be able to monetize your content and who's following you. And it goes to what Chris was saying again about email and SMS. And the thing I wanted to say about the blockchain, which is really cool, and the future, like whatever we want to call Web 4, I don't know, right? Like you've got read, write, own. That's like Web 1, Web 2, Web 3, right? The beauty about the blockchain is there are people right now that are innovating to where your content can be on the blockchain and verified as ownership where nobody can take it, right? Like, so yeah, you know, you've got YouTube, you've got your website and all that stuff, but like, how cool would it be if instead of using Substack to write blogs, right? Which there is a website that allows this. You write your blogs and they're actually on the blockchain and forever on the blockchain verified. This is your blog written on this day. It's yours. So if anyone tries to steal a quote from your blog, it's verified that it's yours, right?
Bastard. You're like
Yeah,
a Getty.
don't. But so I think the blockchain is definitely going to revolutionize content creation. I think AI is going to revolutionize content creation. And my biggest thing, and I just did it today for the first time ever, I retweeted my own thread that I wrote months ago. I've never done it before. Melina actually liked it. I appreciate you. I've never done this before, but I wrote a thread months ago about traditional marketing funnels and Web2 marketing. And it's been coming up a lot every time I jump on like a Twitter space. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to retweet this thread I wrote about traditional marketing funnels and how we shouldn't ignore these things in Web3. And I did it. I don't know how many. It probably got like Melina's probably the only person that liked it. So shout out Melina. But I don't care because it was a great thread and I want people to read it. But my thread writing has gotten better, which is what I've noticed.
I love that. No, and it is another revenue stream. It's another way. It doesn't matter if it's a trickle at one point. You don't know. That's the thing that I love that Gary Vee razzes people and says, like, what's your time even? Like, what are you being so precious with your time about? Like, to not even dabble, to not even taste it. What if that is the best thing you've ever tasted, but you're like, oh, but what if I don't get paid enough? And you don't want to like go dabble. You don't want to go try things. Even if it's not the thing for you when you get into it, like TikTok was not the thing for me. The thing I realized, and to all the points so far that have come up, was once I realized from very talented people how they were winning, and I tried it, and then it started working for me, and then I'd combine it like Legos, and I'd take one piece from one guy, one piece from this girl, and I'd do my own thing, and I'd start seeing results. I was like, whoa, this is dope. Then I just made sure that my link in bio was going to the place that I wanted people to find me. And I started selling a bunch of online courses, a bunch of them. And this is like automotive stuff. It's not like I'm not a life coach. Don't hate me. But it was selling the thing that they were on my social media account for anyway, but like the really nerdy in-depth, like circuitry and how to do this and that. And that funnel system of just getting good at TikTok, which I sucked at and didn't understand off the bat. I still kind of thought it was for dancing teenage girls. As soon as I learned how to actually do it, and I was like, oh shit, this actually works. I knew that the KPI for me was money in the bank. Are online courses selling? And does it correlate with the amount of virality that I was getting on TikTok? And yes, 100% it did. So I can't say that all those TikTok people were like highly valuable and all those followers, you know, like that. And I didn't make more than maybe 150, 200 bucks from TikTok ever, but I made thousands from online course sales. And I know that those online course sales only happened because I was getting those videos to pop on TikTok. So it's another revenue stream. I absolutely love that. I know I never went back to coaching. He's got more notes. Should I do that? Can everybody hear me?
There's
Yeah,
DJ too, though. Let's not
Yeah,
forget.
DJ had his hand up. Go ahead.
And to the point of me not going to DJ right now, this man picked me up in the rain in LA, drove my ass around in downtown Los Angeles. I sat in the back seat on my phone. I didn't say a damn word. And then he dropped me back off in the rain just so that he could talk. So we're doing it, you know, like we're holding each other hostage. This man could speak. I could speak. I love DJ Warrior. He's dope. And I appreciate the ride from the rain. What's up, brother?
Love you too, man. Thank you for holding amazing tour space because you add nothing but value. And I just wanted to say that. And I'm going to say that every time I speak to you. And I actually was going to say a couple of words regarding the relevancy, which was from earlier, 10, 20 minutes ago when I first hopped on. You know, there's two types of content you create. You create content that will live for a certain amount of time because whatever the topic or whatever you're on, it's changing constantly. Or you can create timeless content, right, which will live in the cloud for a long time. But obviously, we're oversaturated or bombarded with content. Things could get lost in the sauce, right? But if you listen to music, right, there's certain music is even till this day. I've been in the music business 20 years plus. I got it as a teenager, got in inside of the actual music industry when I was a teenager. Luckily, somehow I got in there, right? So what I've noticed is over the years, working with a lot of major artists and brands and big record company rolling out their campaigns, coming with shit, like I realized that if you create timeless music, it's gonna last and you're gonna get your bread, whatever that is, right? And it could vary, it could fluctuate time to time. So when you're creating content, just add value and think about like, okay, so like, less expectation, how much money you're going to make, don't do that. Just add value to people's life and people will come back. Because at the end of the day, we all want to learn, right? Either we want to relearn, unlearn, or learn. And that's just how it goes. So that was my 2 cents. I want to everything that I want to say, Chris and Melina and Joey and Coach pretty much said it regarding the relevancy thing. And also Jennifer, she added, oh my God, so much alpha. So thanks to you. You just reminded me so many things that just got me super amped up right now. But I'm not going to say much. I'm here to listen and learn and hopefully earn one day. And I just love this space. Chris puts up the dopest space that I've discovered in the last 2-3 weeks. So yeah, I'm
The
just happy
dopest
to be
space
here.
that you
and,
found since 2:45 on Wednesday. Okay. Just kidding.
No, seriously, like, cause I'm
just being a
I try to
jackass.
go to the spaces that you go to. Yeah, it's because just the way you break it down, it's just simple to understand, and you can just take it in and just do what you have to do with it, right?
Hey, I'm gonna
So,
be in
yeah,
LA again
education
in a
is
few
important.
days, so we gotta hang out. We got a bunch of people that are coming out. So
this time it's gonna be different. It's not gonna be in the rain, okay? It's not
All
gonna be in
right.
the rain. Hopefully, there's no
I'll talk
rain
this
in
time
LA.
too.
But
Yeah,
yeah, guys,
my bad.
I'm gonna step down. Yeah, we're gonna have a lot of fun. But I'm gonna step down and just listen to all you beautiful people and learn something.
I appreciate
Thank
you,
you so
brother.
much.
All right. Now this guy's the man. I can't
Right.
wait. All right, Coach, you're in. I'm putting you in.
You're putting me in? I'm being called up?
Putting you in,
Hell
Coach.
yes. Let's go. Not like I love all of this. And again, I keep going back to the fact that I'm like, you guys keep talking about being able to make money. And I'm sitting there and I'm floored by that because again, and as I talked last week with Chris and Melina on the episode, like I come from the corporate space and I've been immersing myself here. And again, I did the podcast and I've got partnership management experience. I've got NCAA coaches, but like to be able to monetize off of content and the things that I'm working on building is still, it still escapes me. And I know we talked about some really cool things last week about, okay, hey, you got to talk about you got to try to connect with this company or this company and build your like one sheeter and all that. Andy, I think was last week. He kind of had some really great ideas and I've started doing some of that. I haven't streamlined it, but like it still blows my mind. And like because here's the thing, to me, a lot of times this feels a little bit like a dream. And again, what I mean by the fact that like, here I am, I'm chopping it up with 5 people here. And then however many we've got, a total of like 21 people in the space. And this is the stuff, if you can't tell, if you can't see me, you can hear it in my voice. This is the shit that I love. Like I love being able to connect and do all of this stuff. So the thought to be able to actually make money and provide and some of this stuff to, not only fill me up, but fill the bank account and the wallet and provide for my family and do that kind of stuff. That's the stuff. That's the reason that I'm here. And so like, I'm grateful for these opportunities and these moments to connect and learn because I feel like I'm a student of the game. I mean, and if I'm being candid, like Joey and I are in DMs. I'm like, okay, hey, dude, we're connected. We got to figure this out. And because that's what it's about, right? Like I hate the cliche, your network is your net worth and everything. No, like for me, I want to go ahead and increase my circles of influence with some really dope people that I want everybody to succeed. And that's a hard thing for a lot of people, particularly in the content space, to grasp, right? Like I want people to succeed. I want everyone here to succeed, everybody listening, but yet we get it's natural to become selfish. One thing that I did want to touch on, expectations. Chris, you brought that up. And like
Kevin grooming his beard. Thanks, Joey. You derailed me. All right, expectations.
Expectations. I can't grow a beard. Like I'm patchy. Sorry, I digress. But expectations.
I mean, the cat is grooming his beard. Look,
I
mean,
he's doing the paw thing. He's doing
I see some lapping going on there too.
Like, so patient, dude. Look at this guy.
But this is the fun part, right? This is the connectivity. Keeping it light, but like expectations. My brother has said this to me. He's younger than me, so I got to give him credit because I don't really do. But like he said, the only person that gets disappointed by expectations is the person that sets them. Mm-hmm. And that's really profound if you actually take a step back and think about it, right? Like if I've got an expectation, I'll just, since I'm looking at Joey, right? Like if I've got an expectation that Joey's going to respond to my DM that I sent him as being, hey, it's been great to connect to you. And he doesn't for whatever reason. The only person gets disappointed by it is me. And I think that that's something that we all need to kind of take a zoom out moment and understand, like, look, expectations, the only thing that we can set expectations for is for ourselves, not necessarily set expectations on other people. And that's something I'm trying to do a lot more of. It's really hard, but like by hearing you guys talk about a lot of this stuff, it gives me more conviction in self. And I'm like, okay, what am I going to do? And how can I raise the bar and hold myself to a higher standard without comparing and without relying on other people as well? So again, I'm looking at the time. I probably got about another 10 minutes before I'm going to have to hop.
That's our hard out.
I got to hop into dad mode because
dad mode engaged. I'm ready. I've been waiting too.
One tangent. I had lunch with my daughter at her school today. She's in kindergarten, and I went up and like it was the best 30 minutes of my day. But like that's the coolest part about being able to do this kind of stuff and create and try to build something is my heart stops at 3, and I got to meet Harper at the bus stop. And that's my why. Those are my rocks. Like I'm grateful to be here with people like that, and Joey, like I said, there's a reason we've connected. I love it. And the fact that we've got that dad mode connection and so many other things, but like, this is, I'll give you your flowers and then I'm gonna shut up. Like this has been kind of the joy of my day, just from the fact that outside of having lunch with my daughter, because I'm surrounded by people that are inspiring me to be better. And also hopefully that I've put some of that knowledge out there and inspired everybody on the video stream and listening to think about something a little different. So like, I'm grateful for everybody here. This is awesome.
We're so grateful for you. Oh my God. That's so
Do you
nice.
only have one?
No, I think he's
Two?
got 2.
How
2,
old?
yeah. Harper is 6.5, and Jace, our son, he's turning 4 at the end of this month.
So I have a daughter that's just past 2 years, Madeline, and then a son, Joseph, that's 4 months. So they're almost the same. They're 2.5 years.
Yeah,
apart?
we're 2.5, almost exactly.
Okay, ours are less than 2. Ours are like
Ooh,
19 months. Yeah.
Hey, Kenton, how old is your cat?
Well, the cat's 18 months old. He's a young.
You have an 8.
Yeah.
I have a 6-year-old cat. Oh.
No, he's a baby cat still.
You
He
have any
acts like a
animals,
baby.
Melina?
You saw
How
him.
old is your plant, Melina? Just curious.
I have no clue. I've just been growing it. Yeah.
Was it a gift?
It was a gift. I got a gift, and it's actually growing. It's just that in Canada, it's just very hard to grow anything. It's so cold. It's April, and if I
Yeah,
would
it's
just,
like the tundra.
it is. It's time for me to get out, and I'm gonna put that into my universe.
I love it.
I already told you you're welcome to join us in Florida.
I know.
Well, let me. I want to do a quick wrap up, and I want to pass it over to Kenton and just say, like, what are any takeaways or questions or anything that you want us to maybe ideas for next week? Because we're going to be back next week on Wednesday as well. This was kick ass. Like, I honestly love 2-hour spaces. They actually take a lot out of you. And I used to do this twice a week on Clubhouse, and we never really got the video dialed down to be interactive with the stage. And I love that this is all working now. So I'm going to keep this up no matter what. Melina is awesome for showing up with me and spitting fire like she did earlier. That was awesome.
I was gonna say though, I cannot be there
NFPNY.
next week.
Okay.
I
Everything I said
am
right
headed
now,
to New
I
York.
take it back. I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
No, but I am headed to New York. But unlike Chris, who like set himself up like in LA when we did this a couple of weeks ago, I will be on stage at this time. So I just don't think that and this is part of like back to this whole conversation, the priorities, right? Like, okay, I'm here, I'm present, but next week I will be on stage. I've already told my partner that he will be taking just pictures and videos of me. And like, poor guy, it's like, that's why he's coming. So yeah, I
Listen,
just
he
won't be
knew what
there
he
next-
signed up for. He
Yeah,
knew
does.
it. He knew. If he didn't know
Ready for more
what
of
he
the
signed
same.
up for, then there should be a disclaimer on the box, right? Like,
So I won't be here, but if Chris plans to do it again, we've got some
Oh, yeah.
great
I'm
people
doing it.
here.
Yep.
I will be here.
Love it. All right, Kenton, are you coming? Or are you going to go be on stage?
No. Oh, wait. Actually, Wednesday? I don't know, because I'm going to try to make it to NFT New York as well.
Melina.
Yeah, I was
Please,
going to say.
Kenton, bring the cat.
I'm going to bring Oliver. We're going to run up on stage. I'm just going to hold him up there. He's going to try to bite. You guys, I don't know if anybody saw the epic battle I've been having over here, but that's why I've been quiet half the time. He's just attacking. No, I really did have a question because number one, thank you all. This was more helpful than I can explain. It was like what you said, Joey, when people are speaking, you're like, wow, they're speaking to me, and they're not, but you just feel it like that. I think after all this, my question is, I understand what to do. I think that making content is more of a, you've just got to do it. You've got to do it. You've got to do it. Even if that is putting your time and energy into Twitter Spaces, you could have some type of, all right, I'm going to get sponsored, or, okay, I want to link them back to my website and there are my courses. You can always have some, objective there, but what about where? How do you know where to do this? I mean, right now we're streaming to YouTube and a couple other spots, depending on where we're all streaming individually. But how do we know? How do we know to stop it there? What if we think, okay, well, let's also do Kick, and okay, well, let's take the the content after and let's put it on YouTube Shorts. And if we're going to do that, well, we might as well do Reels. And if we're going to do that, we might as well do Facebook. And if we're going to do that, it just goes on and on and on.
And now you just described my head.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Melina, how do you know where to stop? Like, how do you become satisfied with okay, I'm going to post to YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook, and that's good? No, Chris is just shaking his head.
The proverb says something like, these things are never satisfied. Like fire is one of them. Like, you're never going to satisfy fire. It will keep consuming. So look at the internet as that. If you think that you are going to put in enough and something will be like, give you this message back that's like, okay, you did enough, it's never coming. It's not, and here's the thing, it's a you thing. It's not the internet's fault that it wants to take everything you could possibly throw at it, and it won't even make a dent. So finding what is life-giving to you, what's satisfying for you, what's enough for you. Because there's never done. There's never like, okay, you completed your task, you're good. Nope. Nothing is ever going to say, oh, you're putting out value. Here's the thing that happens when people are valuable. If they start pouring themselves out constantly, it's why I talk about filling up my cup. If you start pouring yourself out, I do it all the time, you will run yourself empty. And then you're looking around and you're like, oh, I'm empty. It's like, yeah, you poured yourself out empty. You never got filled back up. What are you doing to fill yourself up so that you can keep pouring out onto other people? Because that's a you thing. It's not their fault that you expended. It's why the whole like oxygen mask on you first, then your neighbor. Because if you suffocate, how are you going to help anybody? You're going to be dead. Don't let the internet kill you. So it's a big answer.
Kenton, I will say, start with a few of them. Do what you can. Like I always say, what is going to allow you to be consistent? That is the key. It's consistency. Is it going to be Twitter threads? Is it going to be a podcast a week? Then you're going to chop it up and do 10 TikTok. You just have to decide. Bye, coach. We love you. Oh, it's Joey. We love you. But Kenton, just to wrap it up, I would say figure out what is going to allow you to stay consistent and not burn out, like Chris is saying, because of course we look at our favorite influencers and content creators. We're like, oh my God, they're everywhere. We can't live up to that. They have been doing this for a decade, right? And so I always say, start where you think your audience is, right? We're talking about that target audience. Start where you think, where are people wanting this type of information? And then stick to what will allow me to stay consistent.
Yeah. And the comparison is hard because you don't know what's happening to those people that you're looking at. You don't know what's going on in the background. You don't know what my wife's doing inside. You know what she's doing inside right now? She is crunching cans at the can cruncher right on the other side of that wall. And I hear it. Drives me crazy. You don't know about that. You don't know.
We had no idea. Why would you give that up?
Right. So, but truthfully though, you don't know what people are dealing with. So if they're doing way, way, way crazy and you're like, I don't even understand how they could do that. Maybe they can't do that. Maybe they're burning out and they're ruining their lives. And you're sitting here thinking like, why aren't I doing that? It's like, I don't know. Maybe you don't want to burn your life down. So yeah, it is a journey where you should only compare yourself to you yesterday and to find the things that give you joy, that fill you up, that get you to want to keep going and keep you consistent. And then, maybe sometimes you got to get out of bed because you're like, damn, I didn't do that thing I said I was going to do. And it's midnight. I haven't posted yet. Oh, I haven't posted. I skipped 7 days. I should post 7 videos in one day like an idiot. Maybe you're like that guy. Don't be like that guy. Anyway.
But Kenton, does that help you? Does this help you?
Oh, yeah. Even just what you're saying about do what you need to do that allows you to be consistent. It's such a that's such a better answer than so much, because it's not like here's the magic formula. It's the magic formula is whatever allows you to post consistently. Because we all know people preach that all the time. That is one of the secrets to this. But it's more than that. It's what allows you to actually build that consistency, because not every game plan truly does. Not right now, at least.
Right.
Preach. Yeah.
The other thing I would quickly add on that is, Kenton, just offer yourself some grace. And that's something that I struggle with too, is again, like Chris mentioned, right? He feels compelled to get caught up because he missed 7 days. And I think that's absolutely great. But like, he also prioritized something different, which is really cool. And like, I do a daily, video, and I try to do it in the morning, but like lately it's been, I've been getting up at 5, I'm working out and I'm doing this, and then dad mode, and then and then I get into it. And it's like, I've got a video sitting on my phone, and then I hopped in this space and I didn't post it. Okay, cool. Right. It may not hit the algorithm. It may not do this or this. And like, that's okay too. Right. So it's being gracious with yourself and be like, look, again, at the end of the day, if all anybody can ever ask you is to do your best, and that's going to get different on every single day. So just keep going, man. And if you ever need support, I mean, again, now that we're connected and we're face to face, like DMs are always open, my friend.
Thank you. And you guys are right. This whole face-to-face thing, it doesn't make such a difference, like the connectivity and everybody's way more alive this way. Way more alive.
Man, so that means that article was right.
Which article? Did I miss this right in the beginning? I might have missed the article.
No, but I was talking about this article that was saying that live audio is on a decline. It's not actually going up. It's on a decline. Less and less people are listening to podcasts, specifically audio podcasts. I still have to go find it again, but I will. And I may even do a thread about it, because this is pumping me up.
Well, Coach, I hope you enjoy the time with the little one. Melina, you've got NFT.
I'm also, we did 2 hours. I think I'm good. Do we have other people asking questions?
This is it. This is you closing it out. Then I'm going to say some silly thing, and then we're done.
Well, how do I close this? What was the title again of this? It's Twitter Spaces content creation. This was such a fun chat. I think we got different answers, but I think the answer is, let's just close it out this way. If you deem it as content, then do content. Take that Twitter space and repurpose it. That is your homework this week. Take that Twitter space, your 2-hour space that you recorded, and try to repurpose that content. Go post it somewhere else. And then come back to us next week. I'm curious to see if people will do it, because Chris and I know not a lot of people are.
I thought you were talking to me. I was like, okay, like you guys thought people talking to you. Yep, that's what just happened. I will do that. I will repurpose pieces of this content, especially the fiery bits with Melina. I'm going to give them to her. And the gift of content, I got to tell you, for anybody who likes to listen to Spaces, this is how I'm going to end. Is Twitter Spaces considered content creation? Maybe to you, not to me, not until somebody makes it into content. And so I'm going to go through and I'm going to listen to some of my favorite pieces of Twitter Spaces recordings. Notice I didn't say content. And then I'm going to turn it into content, and I'm going to give it to that Spaces host, or to the speaker, or to the group of speakers, or whatever. And I'm going to give them the gift of content. And you don't even have to do that. You don't have to chop it up and edit and do all these extra things. You could just go through and say, you know what? I listened to that space, and at 1 hour and 37 minutes in, you dropped the heat. And I just want to tell you, you said this about that, and I appreciated it. If you do that for somebody, you're giving them the gift of content, because they could take that clip and give that to an editor or a shredditor and turn it into stuff. I did link something up at the top. It's not a plug for buying something. It's a free course called shortformula.com. You don't have to go there, but if you do, it's dope. And it teaches you a very loose framework for how to create short form content. So that could be a recording of a Twitter space. You repurpose it, or it could be you making something where you talk to the rear facing camera on your phone, like Coach does, like a boss every day. There's a lot of stuff you can do to make content. So I just want to see people actually create content. And if that comes from Twitter spaces, so be it. So that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Melina, I appreciate you every week. Have a great time in New York. We will miss you. We will troop on for the week solo. It'll be a good time. So
Don't worry. Just like Miami, I will come back bombarded with content.
all right. I appreciate everybody. I'm out. Oh, that didn't work. I tried to play a song. That would have been cooler if I did it. Okay. On that note, peace. All right, you guys, don't leave yet, you live stream people.
Yeah.
I'm ending the broadcast now.